morning. In Africa, healthcare workers are responsible for, on average, 20,000 people. And Africans walk 6 miles, again on average, to reach a healthcare center, often using wheelbarrows as an ambulance. People are dying in Africa because they don't have access to reliable health care, because the healthcare workers don't have reliable transportation to get to them. Well, now you're wondering, what do these bikes have to do with this? What if we could help the African healthcare workers get to the people and deliver their care? Well, Riders for Health is an organization born out of the world of motorcycle racing, and they enable rural African healthcare workers to deliver care to the people, and oftentimes by motorcycle. My buddy and I decided to take a trip, inspired by Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman's Long Way Round the World trip, which was a trip all the way around the world, which they called Long Way Round. Decided to take our own trip, which we would call Long Way Up. We charted a course from Nashville to nearly Canada and back. We'd go up the west side of Lake Michigan and come back down the east side. And if we each had 10 people give $100, we'd each generate $2,000, which would be enough for 2 bikes for African healthcare workers. So step 1 was to modify the bikes. Got busy welding and putting panniers on them so we could carry our luggage. And step 2 was to learn how to ride. That's the center picture there is actually a little bit of blood from an accident. With 100 pounds on the back of these little bikes, it's harder than it looks to ride them. So step 3 was to accessorize, and we were lucky to have right away some people from the local community, local businesses sponsor us. So the first day we headed out in 100-degree heat from Nashville. Had second thoughts, but it all paid off when we reached our campsite that night, and we're surprised and along the way, as we hoped, we hit some interesting scenics. So we were surprised when we got to our first campsite that we had generated $2,900 already. So we'd gone 300 miles and already generated that much. We were really excited. So with that, we headed towards Wisconsin the next day and some cooler weather. It was beautiful. The weather was perfect. And again, we were surprised when we got to our campsite in Wisconsin, we had raised $3,700. We stayed here for a couple days, took in AirVenture, which is one of the world's largest air shows, where we snapped these photos, which really have nothing to do with the presentation, but we just wanted to see them on the big TV screen. So that does look nice. Okay. So the best news is, by the time we got to Michigan, at our first campsite in Michigan, we met our goal, $4,000. Now all we had to do is find a way to get these little bikes that weren't made to go this far back home. Oh, and just before crossing the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan, we had our only trip awkward moment when we were surrounded by, our little bikes were surrounded by Harley guys. It was a bit like, I don't know, bringing cupcakes to the guy's beer and card night. I don't know. So we kept on going. And after some good pancakes in Indianapolis, we were back home a day later in Nashville, and the best news is we had raised $4,400 total, enough to buy more than 2 motorcycles for rural African healthcare workers. African healthcare workers can reach 6 times as many people on motorcycle than by foot. And Riders for Health, in total, touches 11 million people in this way. So thanks for those who have sponsored us, and please be sure to check out Riders for Health, their site at riders.org, and we have many posts and pictures on our site at Long Way Up. Thank you very much.